I know that we all don't choose our past. I know that we don't choose the people that we honor and admire and fucking respect in life. I've talked about everybody single. I've talked about listo in the past and some of the videos, but I wanna acknowledge who listo was. Listo to me um, was a vato that fucking dressed to impress and fucking reacted and had a beautiful hyena. Listo, Lizard, Chino, and some of the great homies that I know. Uh, like I just want to tell a story about Listo. Uh, a lot of people don't know who Listo was from BBH. He was a condor, and to me, he's one of my mentors and one of my persons that I admire and respect. It. Two reasons, right? Reason number one: when I walked into El Sereno, uh, we walked in with low riders and fucking with Danny and Jesus Almeida, and we were gangsters, right? I don't want nobody to decide that. Vatos from Sereno or from Sereno Lock, Etica or Lowell or from other neighborhoods that existed. They had their neighborhoods and they had their culture and they had their fucking her ways, you know. Well, I walked in part of that neighborhood, all right, and I was raising up my R and my S, you know, El Sereno, you know, and I was gonna belong to Sereno, either Lac or Etica, because most of my friends were from there, and Raymond and fucking Arteaga and all the rest of the homies from Cerote land, you know, were persons to be respected and admired, you know. And see, I grew up in El Sereno. I grew up in the projects, but my youth, I grew up in El Sereno. So I got to admire and respect and be around. We call them Cerotes or El Sereno, you know. But they were dressed to impress. They had Levi's. They were fucking vatos that fucking impressed. They had ramflas, cars. They had fucking houses. They had fucking anything that they desire. There was no excuse. There were whoopee whoops. They have the hyenas that look good, the hyenas that had feria. They had good jobs. They had fucking parents that own businesses, right? Businesses, like I said. We had homeboys that had ramflas, bombas, lowriders. They had fucking money, you know. They had most of the businesses that are around El Sereno were part of the vatos that I grew up with, their parents. As a matter of fact, I had my dad that had a Carrillo de Neds, Sleep Wow, y toda la cosa, you know? But when I went to junior high, after going to El Sereno and or Cerro Park Little Crips, I got to admire and respect all the vatos, you know? A lot of people from the projects or from other neighborhoods, they move into El Sereno because it's a progress. It's a future. It's something to be proud of, you know? Vatos from El Sereno are from other neighborhoods. They're not from El Sereno. They moved from all territories and they wanna progress. They wanna have a different life. They wanna give a better life to our kids. I'm grateful to my parents, actually to my dad, you know. But the story I really want to talk is about Listo. See, I went to El Sereno with Jesus Almeida and Danny Almeida. They had a old lowrider car. We fucking cruised into the old school y toda la cosa. But when we got there, we had a lot of fucking haters, you know? we had a lot of persons pointing finger to us because we're cerotes, like throw the S on them, I was about to get into the neighborhood Sereno, El Sereno. I was gonna represent because all my homeboys, all my friends, and everybody that I admire and respected. I had all the people from the projects, but I admire and respected everybody from El Sereno because I went to my elementary, my fucking school, and they're all my fucking college friends, well, school friends, and we got mentor and we got grown up by the same fucking privileges. You know what I mean? We're privileged and we're fucking better persons than people from the projects and people from other neighborhoods. We're chosen. We were chosen. Basically, it. So the first day, I went with Jesus Almeida and Daniel Almeida, and we cruised in. I remember the back seat where I was sitting at. It had the Mexican flag, and we were fucking doing hydraulics, and we entered to the old school in front of the market, And right away we got hit up by the deans y toda la cosa. See, Daniel Almeida, to a lot of people, it's just a normal, casual person. But he was a gangster, He was a vato that fucking lived up to expectations. He was a freestyle. He fucking did tricks. He did everything that anybody could be admirable, To this day, I haven't found anybody that substitutes him or fucking equals to him because he was that fucking down. He had the best hyena, he was dressed to impress, smelled good, looked good, he fucking dressed good, he drove good, he had his GT, toda la cosa. There was nothing to be fucking hated to or admired, He was admired in every perspective. And I drove in with him to El Sereno. Him and his little brother, Jesus Olmeda. His big brother was Rafa. He worked for Candyland. Anybody that knows is old school, lo que sea. He did all the paint jobs y toda la cosa. It doesn't exist no more. That's how fucking old school I get. Well, I walked in from the old school side of the school with the liquor store y toda la cosa. And right away we got hit up by vatos from Terreno, And there were the veteranos, there were the vatos that fucking ran the school, Right away they fucking threw the lock street on us, And they knew my name, They knew my name. Right away they fucking welcomed me into the neighborhood, They said, it's puro cerote land, It's like, aquí rifa el sereno, It's like, so I said, cool. And Danny Almeida, and several people that I knew, Killer, and fucking other people that I knew from Raymond's dad, that I knew from Cerotes. They said, don't get in the neighborhood, you don't need all this bullshit, You're down, you're crazy, you're a cagapalo already. You don't need a neighborhood, you don't need to fucking go through all the shit that we went, go to prison and do time y toda la cosa. So right away I got hit up. So when we walked in, it was Raymond, Red, some of the pandas, Jesus Olmeda, and I had Lefty, Jaime, Jose Arteaga, Shy Boy. We were deep. We were like about 50 deep, right? We met up in the lunch area. And right away we said, throw our ass up, you know what I mean? Like, sereno, We belong to our territory, to our fucking... we're gonna control this school. We're gonna make this school our way, So as soon as all the neighborhood, we're 50 deep, right? Puro pinche Sierra Park little cribs, We had Toñito and all the rest of them from Ceroteland, you know. So we walked into to the the lunch area, and we all there's a picture. I don't know where it's at, who has it. I wish I could have it. So we all ganged up, and we all said, "Sierra Park, Little Cribs, it's Ceroteland, you know, Rifa, you know." It's like we got deep, you know. I remember as I walked to homeroom. My homeroom was the government, which is way in the back. And I was walking. Then I met like 4 or 5 homeboys from the projects. You know, the one number vato, the one that stood out was Listo. Listo from the Big Hazard, Condors or Dukes, one or the other. And I was walking, you know, like thinking I was badass, you know, like representing and me, Jesus, Shy Boy, and a couple of the homies. Like I said, we were like 50 deep, right? We were walking deep, man, like deep. I'm not talking about minor deep. I'm talking about major deep. So, Listo fucking, he had some Cortez and some fucking fucking shirts and dressing as a gangster, you know? We're slick back. And we had some fucking vans and we were down, you know? It's like, I was ready for fucking combat. Puro combat, you know what I mean? So, then fucking Listo. That's where Snake, Carlos, the rest of the homeboys, Lizard and Chino and all the rest of the homies there. See, I knew him because of the projects. I was walking down like, we're gonna get jumped tonight, we're gonna become from Serrano, we're gonna control the school, blah blah blah. I was fucking someone to be noticed, someone to be fucking I was ready to get challenged, you know. Ain't nobody gonna take me down. Like I said, I had like 20 fights, so I was one of the main vatos, you know. I was a vato that you could be impressed and fucking be saluted to, you know. So I ran across Listo. Listo, Happy, Grumpy, fucking Chino, Lizard, fucking Duke, and the rest of the crew, you know. Boo Boo and the rest of them. And the homies that I was coming across, that they threw out their signs, Sereno, you know. And it's like, Lizard just and Listo just stopped, and he walked towards me, and he fucking towards me, right? He walked towards me, and I looked at him, and I was about to throw chingazos, you know, like chingazos. First thing that came out of his fucking mind, his word or his palabra, is todo. What's up, little Jojo? I got stunned. I got amazed that he knew who the fuck I was, you know? It's like, how the fuck you know me, you know? What's up, man? This is Listo from the BHR Grande, you know? And I had like 10, 12 people around me and back of me. And he told me, hey, you know what? Fuck them vatos, You from the projects, you know? You from us. And I got stunned, you know. I didn't know who I belonged to Sereno or to the projects. On this side, I had fucking Raymond's brother was Simon, and he controlled most of the Sorino. La Kinetica y toda la cosa, you know. Then I had a couple of the big homies. And on this side, I didn't know Listo, Duke, Chino, fucking all these older homies, you know? Gargi, Happy, Grumpy, and they beat me by 1 year, right? 1 or 2 years. But then I seen all the project people, and then I seen a fat gordo, which is Boo Boo, you know? I seen Bams, and that's when I met him. And I kind of started reminiscing and started thinking about. I seen him before. I met him before. It's like a deja vu. So Listo told me, hey, you know what? I remember he had a saco and he was like some Stacy Adams and he was fucking G'd up, you know? And him and Chino and Duke, you know? Those are the ones I remember. And he told me, vente pa acá, pinche mocoso. He called me a mocoso, eh? Still remember that, eh? So I left the crowd. I left the crowd. And obviously we go to our first period. First class, lo que sea. Guess who I had in my class? I had big Mr. Raymond. I had a fucking Listo. I had a Droopy. I had a fucking Boo Boo. I had Listo. I had a fucking Lizard. And Happy and Grumpy in my class. And then I had Jesus Olmeda, Eddie Vargas, a Shy Boy. We're like compact and we're fucking like, I didn't know who I belonged to. I remember Listo. There was an encyclopedia, all right? Encyclopedia, and Listo got a encyclopedia and she fucking opened it up and threw a fire and threw it out, eh? Through the window in front of I had the main fucking building. He threw it out to what is it? The fucking street. I forgot right now. And he fucking threw out the book, and we all started burning and throwing books out, and it got crazy, you know. It got crazy, and I remember when I walked out of that class, Listo like just grabbed me and he told me, "Little Jojo, what's up with you, man? You know, you don't forget where you from, where you come from, and who you are, carnal, you know." And I looked up at Listo and I looked at him and I told him, you know what? But you vatos are my past and these vatos are my future. And Listo straight out told me, he goes, can never leave the projects behind. That's saying, he used to talk like ese, raza. And so I was gonna get jumped that night, that day in Torsorino. Arteaga, Jaime, and Shy Boy, and a couple of the homies got jumped in there. Torsorino. And I didn't get jumped in. I told them, you know what? I gotta think about it, you know? And everybody was like, what do you mean you gotta think about it? You're from us. I said, you're from, like, you're our fucking leader. And I straight out told them, you know what? I'm not a leader, you know? I'm not part of your raza or your crew, lo que sea. So I abandoned everybody from El Sereno Lock and Etica and the rest of us. And back in the day, we started Lowell. Then it became a real gang, and they go in gang banging y toda la cosa, and then they got the green light. Well, before all that, the next day, that day I remember I went to school. Well, I got out of school, and right away, all the vatos from Masorino wanted to jump me. And they jumped all the vatos, and they made them part of the fucking crew. I forgot what crew it was, you know? And I was the only one that didn't jump me, Jesus, and Eddie. But the rest of them got jumped, Jaime, and everybody else got jumped in. The next morning, when I showed up to school, my dad dropped me off. And right in the school, every vato from El Sereno that got jumped in, it was like about 20 deep, right? 20 deep. All my vatos from Cerro Park, they all belong to Lowell. Well, not to Lowell, to Sereno Lock and Etica. They got jumped into two crews, you know? Some of them were going to get into Lowell, but they got into after. And we had Dogtown, we had Happy Valley, we had fucking Rose Hills, we had all the neighborhoods, and everybody represented. Everybody from Cerote land was all my friends, everybody that I grew up with, everybody that I represented, everybody I fought, everybody that meant something to me, you know? A lot of people don't understand that I straight out told them, you know what? I don't want to join you guys because I'm against you vatos, you know? I don't want to join you guys because I think you guys are leva. I don't want to join you because I don't know you vatos. You vatos are my brothers. You guys are my fucking gente. You guys are my fucking cultura, you know what I mean? So, the next day, I got out of school, which is the third day now. And Danny Olmeda, he kept picking us up in the lowrider y toda la cosa. And I remember there was a school bus, and all the vatos from Sereno, from Low, from Locke, from Etica, from fucking Happy and Dog and Rose Hill and all these other neighborhoods, Happy Valley, all these Lincoln Heights, Clover, all these neighborhoods there, they were talking shit to the people in the bus, you know? Little did I know, which it took me 20 years, right? Uh, that Happy, he did a documentary himself, man. I just heard it a couple months ago. He wanted to belong to Sereno, you know, because they're all rich boys y toda la cosa. And that's the vatos I grew up with, right? And they fucking shined him on. They told him that he's from the project. He can't never belong to vatos from Sereno, you know? We have the women, we have the car, we have around it all, but he can't belong with us because he's a fucking loser. He's a low budget, low income fucking project piece of shit, you know? So Happy got into the projects that day, the afternoon, you know? He said, and I was in the front lines, you know? I remember I walked up the hill from Malserino, right there where my dad used to pick up my mom, or my hill. We had to cross two hills just to get to my house, you know? I remember I was walking with Jesus and Eddie. Right away, I got hit up, man. And they told me, hey, you know what, though? You either join our barrio or we don't fuck you up. So I took it to the corner where the hamburger stand's at, and I got to the back. And I remember that Eddie Vasquez, you know? He's like, you know what? I ain't gonna join either. And they were afraid of me. And I remember Jaime and Carlos and the rest of the from Marcelino, you know? Arteaga and Shy Boy and Raymond and Simon and the rest of the homies, Red and the Pandas and the rest of the homies, you know? I remember they went up to Eddie and they told him, shut the fuck up, eh? And Eddie started getting like, he used to be controversial. He used to think he was tough. I used to admire him, respect him because he was a fucking cagapalo. He was a snapper, you know? But see, cagapalo snapper, like Johnny 5, you know? Johnny says, is that the day that they stuck him in a fence? Well, yeah, that's what happened. So they came up to him and they told him, you know what, it's puro sereno, and he used to kick it with Killer and his brother, all the rest of the crew for Lock, you know? And he tried telling them that he didn't want to join, you know? So I told him, you're going to be hanging around with this vato, this hamster, or this fucking lowlife, this vato that fucking doesn't live up to expectations, which was me, right? And Eddie, as a Proud Boy, right? We call him Proud Boy. He stood up for me. He goes, yeah, he's my homeboy, he's my friend, you know? And they fucked him up and they stuck him in a fence. And that's when I got violent, you know? I got violent and I was like, well, who's next, you know? My friends that I respected and I fucking grew up with, they all betrayed me. They all fucking told me I was a backstabber and I was a a leva, low life. I was a piece of shit, you know? And Eddie was on the fence, and Jesus, they went up to Jesus. They technically robbed him his school lunch, school lunch bag, Fucking started crying, and so it was just me, right? By myself, you know, Eddie on the fucking fence, and Jesus like a little bitch, and Arteaga, Jaime, and the rest of the homies, Raymond, Simon, fucking the Pandas, and the rest of the homies, from Etica, Locke, and Vato from Noel. They're like, you know what? Estuvo, carnal, we're gonna fuck you up. We're gonna fucking kill you. I swear to God, something magical just happened at that moment. Listo came in. I remember he used to wear Ben Davis, fucking flannels, Imperials, and he used to wear those chanclas and all. He used to be a gangster, He fucking walked out of nowhere. Out of no fucking where. And it's like, leave my homeboy alone, Little Jojo, It's like, God say, fuck. And I remember there's like, I say about 52, me and him, So we both fucking raised our hands and we said, you know what? Let it happen, let it happen. I remember they fucking came rushing at us and they fucked us up, right? Fucked us up. Listo was older than me. He looked a lot older than me. He had bigote and he had like stuff. But Listo fucking took the big bunch. I remember like 20 guys were for him and like 2 or 3 guys were with me, And they fucked up Listo, I swear to God. I never seen no one get fucked up like Listo, Reminds me of my primo Bird a couple years later, while we were in Gageville. But Listo got fucking pulverized. And I remember they were dragging him. That's how bad. I mean, they were fucking me up, right? Don't get it wrong, right? Nothing. I had like 2, 3 guys hitting me. And I had like 20 guys fucking up Listo, I swear to God, when we turned around, we got a beating for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, I swear to God. Everybody from the neighborhood. Happy, Grumpy, Listo, Duke, everybody fucking showed up. We're right there in back of the fucking, where Jaime lives at, right there in back of the fucking 99-cent store, the hamburger stand, across the street from the liquor store, on the alley. And they stopped fucking us up because they got scared. Everybody from the project was older, was fucking like a real gangster, and these vatos were like newcomers, I remember they stopped hitting me, but they didn't stop hitting Listo. They kept hitting Listo, I remember they dragged them, man. That's how bad they fucked them up, man. And when the homies came down, we're like about, I said 15, 20 of them. Right away, they stopped hitting them and they fucking ran. The vatos from the projects, they chased them down right there where Jaime lives at on Templeton. And they started running where Jaime used to live at, which is across the street from the alley. 100 Drive is right here, No, not 100 Drive. The street. I'm. So, I remember Lisa told me, you gonna get in the neighborhood or no? I told him, Charlie, homeboy, I'm not gonna get in the neighborhood. That afternoon, that's when Boo Boo, Bams, the rest of the homies got into the projects. The next day in the morning, when I went to the school, all my Boo Boo, Bams, and everybody else were from the neighborhood. And the rest of the homies that I grew up with got into Sereno, Locke, Etica, and Lowell. It was like a big rumble, a big fucking fight. So I didn't belong to nowhere. So that's when my journey started. Everybody was afraid of me. to fight me because they didn't want to get everybody from the projects. And the vatos from the projects, they didn't want to get me into the neighborhood because of my Uncle Jojo. And I was down. I was down. And I knew vatos from Happy Valley, Rose Hill, Clover, fucking Lincoln Heights, and Happy Valley, toda la cosa. And I already had fought most of them. Well, that year, Listo encouraged me and always advised me and told me that it's not where you're from, it's where you're born at. And no matter where you're from, we're always going to have your back. We're always going to be part of you. That's why I met Toñito from Sereno, and that's where I met a lot of homies, a lot of homies. And they accepted me without being part of them because I was familia. And Sereno, they didn't fuck with me because I was part of them también. And Happy, Low, toda la cosa, Metro, toda la cosa. Uh, everybody belongs somewhere at the first week of fucking El Sereno, my junior high. I was like 14, 13, and I didn't belong nowhere, but I was from everywhere, and everybody respected me because I made it past the hell week. Well, later on in life, I got to be around Listo and be admired and respected by him and be around him and the rest of the homies from the projects, Listo, Lizard, Happy, Grumpy, fucking Termite, Silent, Taco, everybody. There was several people that I admired. Lizard was one of the vatos that... Lizard was like a vato that had feria. And Listo was like an old man, fucking pobre, pero he fucking robbed and fucking represented that you wanted to be around him because if not, he'll rob you and fucking beat you up. But he admired Jojo. He used to call me también Leo Jojo. And I've always admired him and Tata and Josa and I know that Josa passed away already, but Tata's Tata. I got to be around and amongst giants. I just want everybody to know that growing up, I didn't get forced into nothing. I didn't belong to nothing that I wanted. And to this day, I don't belong to nowhere. I'm not a fucking giant like everybody else. I didn't go to prison. I didn't fucking do anything out of the ordinary. I fought a lot. I beat up a lot. I fought people from the projects as well, Sereno and fucking everywhere, Clover, Lincoln Heights, and all. But most of them were my friends. And I fought a lot of family members and acquaintances. But I've never been forced to nothing. So the story I want to tell you is about Listo. Listo told me now he's deported and he lives in TJ, right? Tata's around. Josa passed away. And most of the homies are still around. But I didn't need to belong from a neighborhood to be proud of myself. And I owe it to my Tio Jojo and Miguel and Bird and Berta and my apellido Cuevas. And I also owe it to El Sereno because I represented and I fought and I fucking took care of my own business and I represented myself. I didn't need to join gangs. I didn't need to prove myself more than what I did. So I just want to tell everybody, if you're down, you're down. And if you're fucking to yourself, keep it to yourself. I've always had the highness. I've always had the respect. I've always been an admirer. And I've always been fucking with Cora. Yes, I know where I belong. I belong to me. Yes, I know where I grew up. I grew up in the projects in El Sereno. And everybody wants to talk about Sereno, I'll fuck you up. And everybody wants to talk about the project, I'll fuck you up. Because those are my raza, those are my brothers, those are my culture, those are my youth. And not anybody could talk the way I talk. And I'm privileged because I know both neighborhoods and I respect both neighborhoods. Of course, I belong to the projects. Of course, my raza and my familia is from the projects. So that's who I choose, Pero my dad lives in El Sereno, my brothers go to El Sereno, and I go out of El Sereno, and I don't disrespect them. I fucking, I fought them, I joined them, I live with them, I spill blood, and we're raza, we're familia. And I always back both of the neighborhoods. Of course, I lift up the big Hazard Grande because familia. My family taught me that you don't go against family. But I don't go against my friends. I don't go against my youth. I don't go against the people that I live with and I respect it. You know what I mean? I don't. And I know in El Sereno I'm well respected and well recognized as Manuel. You know what I mean? So wherever you are, at least I haven't seen you in a couple of years. It's probably been a decade. I know you got deported, toda la cosa. But this salutes you. And I respect you and I admire you and I wish, like a tojosa, like a totata. I fucking know where I came from. I know who I am. And I know I am who I am because of you. So, just wanna recognize Listo. El pinche cholo más cabrón, más chingón that fucking went above and beyond. And I admire, respect, and will always salute Listo from the. Yeah, he's from the Condors. So, that it is it.